mighty good friends? It's Amy Temperley at A Mighty Good Time, and we are here for another mighty good conversation. We have Margot Merrick with The Loop Village, and really excited to talk to Margot. They've got some great programs on their site, but also some really interesting things. So I'd love to hear a little bit too about your companionship programs and your Loop Cafe, which I think is really interesting. But tell us a little bit about the Loop Village and how you got started and kind of what your mission and goals are.
Awesome. Thanks, Amy. Well, I've been in senior care for almost 22 years. I started a company with my husband at the time here in Los Angeles area where we put caregivers in people's homes. Then the pandemic hit, as we all know, and I was talking to a really good friend of mine who's an entrepreneur. And at a certain point, we wanted to buy the company that I was with my ex out, but we really wanted to help seniors. So I have had a passion since I was in my teens to link high school students up with seniors because, you know, in a lot of assisted livings, they just sit there. No one just says, hi, how are you? And gets a connection with them. So pandemic hits and I'm like, oh my gosh, how can I reach seniors everywhere? And we came up with the idea of the Loop Village. And we are basically a virtual community, just like we're talking right now. Every single thing is on this platform. And we do one-on-one companionship. So this is our uniform. They're in white and red. So you'll always see a host in a top like this. And we meet seniors and we do a one-on-one just like this. So basically, every week you meet, you get to know this one person inside and out, kind of like a friendship therapy, but we're just talking about anything and everything. The second part of the village is our live cafe, our events and classes. So currently we have over 100 live events. And again, every single one of them has the talent. And then there's a host, myself or our team. So the host is there to invite everybody, greet everybody, keep it going smoothly. And then the last part of the cafe is the cafe. And that is just like this, where we dine together, have coffee or tea together, and you never eat alone again. So if people eventually will be open 24/7, the cafe. Right now, we're open 3 days a week, East Coast, and 3 days a week here in the West Coast. And that's pretty much it. So we wanted to target senior isolation, which is a pandemic right now. It's a huge decline in people's health, more than I ever even imagined when we started this. And through social connections, just like this, we're basically changing people's health and well-being. We have many, many testimonials where you get goosebumps, how these elder adults didn't even think they were isolated. Some people were like, oh, I don't need to come into the village. But once they're in, our retention is 100%. So
that's fantastic. Fantastic.
A typical day in the village, I'll take Friday, for instance. We start at 8:30 with a meditation. It's a gentleman out of Florence, Italy, who is an incredible, incredible guitarist. So he reads the daily word, then unscripted plays whatever comes to him, and then closes it out with the same reading. Then we go into an energy class, which is taught by a professor at Dr. Flynn from Pepperdine University. She also teaches our poetry, which is incredible, where they dissect poems. Then at 10 o'clock, we always do a world tour. So last week we did a live tour down the Seine River in Paris, and it was at night, so we were able to see all the lights and everything. Then we go into our cafe at noon. Then we have a balance and strength training class, which is taught by a woman who was the coach for the girl who swam from Cuba to Florida. So she's kind of like a drill sergeant, but we get our seniors moving. And then 4 o'clock, we're in Spain every Friday where we have flamenco guitar with a gentleman named Javi, and he takes us through the regions. We learn about the different forms of dance, and that's Friday. So sometimes when I'm the host for the 4 o'clock, I have these members just be like, oh my gosh, this is my fifth Zoom, my fifth event for the day. And it's so incredible for them to say that they base their life now around their Loop schedule. as opposed to basing Loop around their schedule. So I think we're doing something right.
It sounds very special. It sounds like you really are creating a village. It's a little different than some of our other programming that can be kind of one-off. You know, you jump into a class and you jump out again, but it sounds like you're creating something where relationships are developed and people can really connect to each other.
100%. And we had no idea when we started that that would be the outcome. We started with a pilot program with 10 seniors, and it's just, I can't even tell you. It's like we have to pinch ourselves sometimes, but we have definitely created friendships.
It's the best job ever, right?
Well, it's a win-win for the member. It's a win-win for the host, or we call them a village buddy when they're doing a companionship session. And it's a win-win for the family members because they have just seen their loved ones start to flourish. And it's pretty awesome.
Talk about that a little bit more, because I did see on your website about including family and trying to engage the whole family, because that's different to your program as well.
Family members are always able and welcome to come on to any of the events, and we encourage that. So because we have world tours, if it's poetry, if it's Tai Chi, whatever it might be, 100% we invite everyone to come on board. So our schedule, you can go onto the Loop Village, you just pop in your information and the schedule is then sent out to you. So then we kind of track that. And as people show more and more and more, we personally reach out to them and see if they want to become full members.
That makes total sense. That makes total sense. So tell us a little bit how your membership works. Do you do a free trial? Can people test it out? How does that go?
We do a 2-week free trial right now. And then currently we are $49 a month. And that's because, you know, we're not officially launched where we're going to hit masses of people. So we just want people to come in and experience it. We sometimes use the term, you know, you have to put the pie in the face until people come on and actually experience the village. It's hard. It's really difficult for them to really get it because it really is so uplifting, and you leave every session feeling better than you did before you started. So yes.
Nice. As someone who's worked in older adult services for a while, what do you think is the most important component of active aging?
I really think it's connection. It's like I said, there's members in the village that live with their family members and didn't even think they needed the village. And now all of a sudden they have something to do on their own. You can take people that live in an assisted living, you know, do they want to go down to the rec center and do the exercise class, or would they like to be in their own quarters, their living space, and do an exercise class where they're actually engaging with the same people that they've seen for months? It's just, again, we've learned so much since we started because it just keeps going, and that works, that doesn't. And we just keep trying to tweak it so that we can just create this, you know, universal village for people to connect.
What excites you about the future of your own aging?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. Well, I know I'm never going to be alone again, you know, and my parents, I look at them, my mom and dad are in the village. My dad has early onset dementia, so my mom was more like his caregiver. Now, all of a sudden, you know, I see her on the events and she's just happy, and my dad is sitting there, and it's just, I'm happy to know that as I age, there's going to be something like that. And hopefully, you know, physicians as well, when their patients are sitting there, and a lot of them just come in because they're lonely, you know, they're not particularly sick. They just want to talk to somebody. So it's just awesome that with technology that we're able to do what we're doing right now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't think people realize how many people actually admit at the emergency room with loneliness actually is the underlying symptom.
It's true and so sad.
Yeah, very much so. What programs are you exploring in the future? Do you have new things that you're creating, or classes and events that you're excited about?
We're looking for funding. So, you know, you can take like There's so many things to add to the village. You can look at Airbnb or Amazon and they have world tours everywhere. And it's kind of like, do you want to sit on one of those where you don't know anybody? Or would you rather watch the same tours in the village where you're in your community? Eventually, with Loop, we'll be able to create friendships almost where you'll be able to see, like if I'm in Paris, I'll be able to see who's in the cafe in another part of the world, and we're going to be able to message them. I mean, this is not way down the road, but we need someone like your software engineer.
I hear you.
They're everywhere, but no, it's limitless. Also creating somewhat like an Angie's List where we're going to be a trusted community. So anything and everything that, the elder adults are into or interested in, they'll be able to get it through the village and know that it's, been checked out and they can trust us.
That's really exciting. And I still, your cafe, I mean, just you never have to eat alone kind of concept, just to me is such a nice gift, just to even turn on your camera and sit and have your cup of coffee and just chit chat with somebody over the virtual table.
Right.
That's such a great offering. Really, really interesting.
I had a member say, I've never been in the cafe. And she said, I'm a little jealous because I can tell at some of the other events, the chit chat that happens for 10 minutes prior to the event, she can tell that these friendships they're talking about stuff that she's not aware of. And I'm like, you got to come into the cafe, and just share what's going on in our lives. And there's zero judgment. I mean, it's really a place, some people pop on, they don't show their camera. Then after maybe 2 months, they'll show their camera. And then all of a sudden they pop on and it looks like they've really taken time to really groom themselves. And then all of a sudden it's like, we've just like taken this person behind the scenes to wanting to present and just engage.
Oh, so nice. So nice. So do you have any final advice for our viewers on how to live a full and engaged life?
Well, I keep going back to just try to open up to building connections. Connectivity is good for our health. If you're in somewhat like a village or, exercise, eat well, and just have a social life, even if it's virtual, so that you are connecting with people. I mean, they say social interaction is as important as social medicine. So if you want to live a healthful life, just stay connected, even if it's with one person, keep that up on make it part of your daily routine.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Margot. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, mighty good friends. If you will go to amightygoodtime.com, you can find the Loop Village classes. You can search for it specifically. If you type it in the there's a little search box, you can put the Loop Village if you're looking specifically for their classes. And there are a lot of them. We have a whole ton of your programs on our site, so we're excited to offer those. And if you'd like to get updates and know what's going on at A Mighty Good Time, please do sign up for our email list, and we'll make sure once a week that you know about what's going on. Have a mighty good day, everybody, and thanks for being here with us.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Margot.